Hey guys, welcome to another video of MaxiAspie, and today guys I'm going to talk about what is an autism meltdown. So a lot of people will think an autism meltdown is like a tantrum, and I'm here to say it's not. Tantrum is often used for a bit of attention, resolution, so they want something, and also there's still a control within a tantrum. You know, they have a limit of recklessness, they know where that line is, they know when to not cross it or when to cross it. When someone's having a tantrum, it's often because they want something and it's a mood that they're putting themselves in to get what they want. As a meltdown is not planned, a meltdown isn't for something. A meltdown, an autism meltdown, is the loss of behavioural control. It's a complete loss of behavioural control. You know, some people will get angry, some people will get upset, some people will try and hurt other people, some people will try and hurt themselves. And that's the thing with an autism meltdown, it's not the same for one person. When you meet one person with autism, you meet one person with autism. However, a lot of people will look at an autism meltdown and think they're crying out for attention, or they're being dramatic, or they're aggressive individual, or off the hinges, or to the point where people will just think that simple phrase of "I'll get on with it," and that can be very difficult for someone with autism, because at that moment it is a complete loss of behavioural control, and it's not the same as a tantrum. So what can set off an autism meltdown? It could be sensory overload, it could be information overload, it could be emotional overload, it could be too many demands, and it could just be anxiety and stress. And a big one as well, which often will throw a meltdown in the works, is too much unpredictability. If you change someone's routine from what they normally expect and you suddenly change it, that can cause an autism meltdown. It can cause them to be upset, angry, all of the above. It's important that we don't judge people when they're going through an autism meltdown. It's important that we recognise that whatever they're going through that time is important, and it's not silly, and it's not something that should be took lightly, and it's not something that's going to be disregarded. And it's important to let them know that you're there for them, and that you're not going to let them do these things, you know, to other people or to themselves. And it's also about reassuring them and calming them down while they're going through a terrible time, because what you've got to remember as well is when someone is going through an autism meltdown, whatever they say or whatever they do is not them. You know, it's a complete loss of behavioural control, and it's about just calming that down and getting them to the situation where, you know, they are in a safe environment, they can think, and they can think about what they're doing, what they're saying before they do something, you know, that they might regret. So if someone's going through an autism meltdown, what can you do? But also, how can we reduce an autism meltdown from happening? You know, writing how they feel down on a piece of paper, you know, communicating over that way. So it's important to realise if they're in a stressful environment, an environment that makes them feel unsafe or in danger, or just generally worried and anxious about that. I think it can differ from someone who's obviously in work to someone who's in primary school or secondary school. You know, if they're in secondary school, make the teachers aware that they go through these kind of things. Don't be afraid to ask to go outside and take a break. You know, I need to get out of this environment. Even running away, you know, don't stop anybody from running away if you're a teacher. You know, if they're running away, there's a reason why they're running away. And I'm not on about letting them run off school site, I'm just on about if they're trying to walk out the classroom, don't stop them, let them walk out. I know Ofsted say differently, but at the end of the day, if you step in that person's way, it could cause more of an autism meltdown, because you're effectively making them stay in a stressful environment, and that doesn't help them whatsoever. It just pumps their anxiety and will trigger an autism meltdown. And what they're effectively saying is, I want to get away from this stressful environment. So let them take breaks at school. If there is any sign of tension in the classroom, make sure you're aware of that. Make sure, again, it's about taking them away from that situation, making them feel comfortable, creating a resolution. If they have fell out with somebody, making that resolution. It's about being mindful. You're in work. It's about making your employer recognise that you might have these meltdowns and putting things in place to help you if you do. About having that honesty, and also it's about not judging people, about having that empathy and that understanding there for them. I always feel there's a lot of awareness for autism, but still not a lot of understanding. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I feel an autism meltdown needs to be explained, because a lot of people get them mixed up with tantrums or aggressive outbursts. Autism meltdown is, unfortunately, you don't have the option to control your behaviour, because at that point everything is gone. You know, your mind is in a different bubble, and it can be very difficult to come out of that. And it's important that we're aware of that and we don't judge people. So guys, thank you for watching, take care, and goodbye for now.